What's up, everybody? We're on a podcast now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got to talk about something that just makes me so unbelievably furious. If you recall, go back a week ago. I think I might be from the future, and I want to pat myself on the back because this is an embarrassment. This is something I'm probably going to get. The video is going to get louder and louder as it goes. It's a joke. It's a joke that we're here, but it's not a joke that was unexpected. In fact, last week for Player's Voice, I said you can bet every dollar in your bank account that no matter what happens, any game under the sun could come out this year, and Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves will find a way into the top freaking 5. And let me just look right here. What's this? What's this? And then I think it's maybe this way. You can't see, my chair is blocking it. Both of the games have made it in to the top 5. Okay, couple things I want to say, right? So, number one, I predicted it. I want to pat myself on the back, and you don't have to pat me on the back, but I would appreciate the fact that it's such a joke that I think it does take a little bit of nerve and a little bit of guts to actually say it out loud, and I was one to do it. Is it not funny? Is it not hilarious that the two games that deserve it the absolute least have made it this far? Here's the reality, okay? This is what I said a week ago. These two games have taken up 2 spots from some incredible games. This year has been insane, okay? Now, you do have Expedition, okay? You have Dispatch. I mean, Dispatch making it is quite the thing. You know, Hollow Knight making it. Hades 2, guess that doesn't make the cut. Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, go F yourselves, because you are obviously nothing as compared to Genshin Impact, the 5-plus-year-old game. 5 years. I always try to exaggerate. These games could be 15 years old and still make it. Here's another thing I want to say, right? I made the video. I was I think I was making some pretty good points. So you had people in the comments, and look, you can have your own opinion, and I've said before, like, it's not necessarily against these two games. I don't really care. It's pathetic that they made it this far. We should be embarrassed as a general public that this is why we don't deserve anything. This is why we don't deserve a vote. This is why we don't deserve nominations or mentions. Nothing. The critics, the journalists that we always make fun of and nobody really cares about, that's true. But I think we're far worse. We are the problem, not them. So, okay, there's all that being said. Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves, again, it's nothing against their quality. I've said that before. It's not. I'm joking. I'm messing around. I would like to play these games at some point in my life. Like, I have nothing necessarily like massively against them. They're firstly games that didn't come out this year, and to the people that want to say that the game doesn't have to come out this year to be nominated for Player's Voice, I wanna let you in on a little bit of, like, here's why you don't do that, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. Why you do not open those floodgates is, I was joking in the comments, and I think I joked for Kingdom Hearts 2 and Sly Cooper, right? Sly Cooper 2, Sly Cooper 3. There are some incredible games throughout all of human history. You know, the amount of times that we've had video games, 30, 40, 50 years, there's incredible games. If we are opening this up to Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves, and we're doing it simply because we have a say, you got to be careful, because what is preventing you from just nominating Elden Ring again? What is preventing you from nominating Red Dead Redemption 2? Pick a game that swept. You know how nobody really liked The Last of Us Part 2 sweeping the Game Awards? Why don't we bring that back? That's such a popular game. Everybody loved it, I guess. Why don't we bring that? So that's my counter. For anybody that says, well, Alex, it's a game that I played this year, so why shouldn't it be allowed? Because I can counter you. You want to go through all the games I've played? Go to my third channel, Podcast Now Back to the Past. I've played like 60, 70, probably way more than that, actually. I've played a lot of games this year, okay? New and old. Pick an old game, because I guess it doesn't matter anymore. And I don't know, I keep going around in circles, but I think it's those two things combined. You know, Genshin Impact doesn't, I don't care the quality. Same thing with Wuthering Waves. They don't deserve to be here. They didn't come out this year. Some of these things are half a decade old. If you're going to do that, then you should be able to nominate anything. You know, Death Stranding 2's in the running. What's stopping Death Stranding 1? Who effing cares at this point? Just nominate Death Stranding 1. Why does it matter? Why does it matter if it's not a game? If you don't have to come out this year, then what are we doing? Why are we messing around? And then you can bring in, it's not like this year sucked. See, I would have something like, there could be something to it if you were to say, Alex, there was nothing. This was just a barren wasteland of a year. If you tell me that, I don't even want to talk to you anymore, because this year was incredible. Okay, you don't have to necessarily think it was incredible or it was packed with 30-plus games, but Do not tell me there was nothing this year, because you'll sound like those people. Remember that post on Twitter kind of blew up, millions of views? The person who downloads like Madden, WWE, Call of Duty, and something else. Those people are the exact same people that say that there's nothing out, that no good games or no new releases ever come out. The people that play 3 sports games and a shooter every single year, those are the people that are determining the vote. And as I've said before, like, does it really matter? Not really. Nobody cares what wins the real game of the year. Nobody cares what the players choose. But again, that's not necessarily true. Developers do care, and that was my main point last week, right? If you want to take yourself seriously, then take yourself seriously, right? If the developers are going to pretend or even actually factually take the Game Awards seriously, they should be embarrassed. They're not embarrassed. They should be laughing at us. You know what I mean? If the developers are taking this seriously, they're looking at this and saying, where's Hades? Where's Kingdom Come? Where's Doom? Where's Ghost of Yotei? Where's Death Stranding? Where's Sword of the Sea? Where's Mafia? You want me to keep going? Where's Silent Hill? That was like 9 games. I can keep going. I can get you to 15. I can get you to 20. Games that deserve it more than a game that didn't come out this year. Sorry, games, plural, that didn't come out this year. So that's kind of where I'm at. If you're the developers of those games and you actually take this seriously, which I imagine they do, they all act like they do, then you should be looking at us, the gamers, and saying, you guys are idiots. You guys are the dumbest people on the face of the earth, and you don't deserve anything. And you know what? They're right. They're right, because ultimately, the thing has been hijacked 2 years in a row, and for some reason, and here we are, by the way, okay? If you think about it, right? I mean, it's a matter of percentages. Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves have a higher shot, one of the two has a higher shot of winning over Expedition 33. I want you to look yourself in the mirror if you voted for either of those 2 games, and I want you to smack yourself, and I want you to really ask yourself, do those 2 games deserve to win? Because it's not just that they made the top 5. Again, I think it's insulting to the 9 other games I listed without even thinking about the games that came out this year. I listed 9. Those games should be insulted that these 2 games took up spots that they should have. So that's number 1. Number 2, now you have a real conundrum, because just like last year, you are going into this upcoming Thursday, 3 days from now, right? You're going in with a 40% chance that one of these 2 effing titles wins Game of the Year as voted on by us. And I feel like if these 2 games win over Dispatch, which reinvigorates episodic gaming, and by the way, is just a masterpiece. Hollow Knight Silksong, what a game. Again, I think games that, like, I put games like Kingdom Come maybe even higher than Hollow Knight. I think some of the games that were not even in this top 5 kind of deserve to be in the top. Well, of course. Oh, of course, because 2 of the games deserve to be in the top 500 at best, right? But I mean, 2 games definitely deserve to come out, 2 games come in. But even like Hollow Knight, I do not think Hollow Knight, to me, it's just my own, that's where maybe it gets a little bit more, spicy, but that's okay. That's fun. I think that's fun to say, does Hollow Knight deserve to be in a top 3 or top 5? I think you can have an amazing discussion about it, because guess what? It's a great game, an amazing game. It's detailed. You can go into depth on it, and it came out this year, and it actually deserves to even be in the running for something like this. You can talk about it. You can debate Hollow Knight. You can debate Hades. You can definitely debate Dispatch, right above my chin. You can debate Expedition 33. You can do that. I mean, oh my God, of course you can debate, and you could easily make cases for all these games. You know what you can't make a case for is those 2. And guess what? Both of them combined have a higher shot of winning than any of the other 3 individually. Of course, technically, you're 60-40. You have a 60% shot that a game that does deserve it wins, and you have a 40% shot that a game that would be the most insulting and laughable thing to show up. Can you imagine? Jeff Keighley is standing there. Expedition 33 is sweeping, right? It's winning every freaking award. You know how good Dispatch is. It was only nominated for one thing. That's not really fair. Hollow Knight, it's nominated for some stuff. Maybe it wins, maybe it doesn't. So you're sitting there, Jeff Keighley's announcing it, all these things are happening, and he tells you that Genshin Impact wins Player's Voice Game of the Year. Can you like look at that with a straight face and say, yep, like I believe that was actually legit. I believe that the internet of gamers can, actually the sad thing is I can believe it. I can believe that we would be so and look, by the way, but maybe I should stop right now and just make sure, because some people don't know when I'm being serious or not. I am kidding. I think the people watching the video, of course, I do not blame for this crime against humanity. I think this thing has been hijacked. I think there's a lot of people that are just into Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves, but it's not, like, again, that's not the point. It's not whether you're into it. I don't care. I don't give a flying F if you're into these games. It's the same thing. I'm into Sly Cooper. Should I try to, like, sneak my way into the council to make sure that Sly 2 is a nominee, one of the 30 games nominated for Player's Voice? No, because it makes no gosh darn sense. And why would these games make any sense? It makes zero sense. So I don't care if you're into it. That was the number one thing. So the comments on my video last week, it was, well, Alex, people like it. People play it. I don't care if people play it. That's not the point. That's not what we're talking about. And that's kind of the thing. I mean, that's kind of where it starts and stops. You know, people played Mafia this year. People played Silent Hill F. People played all sorts of games this year. Do you see them up here? No. And can we really be honest? And you tell me if Genshin Impact, you think that that's better than all those games I listed? Because if you really think Genshin Impact is better than those games I listed, I don't know what to tell you. That's just different tastes. I do understand that. Same thing with Wuthering Waves. I mean, I have a bigger bone to pick with Genshin Impact, but they're both atrocities, right? Again, crimes against humanity. You're not going to sit here, number one, and try to convince me that they're better than even the 9 games I listed you, or I could maybe double that, and you would still not be able to convince me. But then also just the rule set, the fact that they're gacha games, which, by the way, that's a bad thing too. Why are we promoting that? Why? They're clearly gacha games. Do we want FIFA and Madden like to highlight how great the Ultimate Teams are? Like, is that something we should be pushing for awards for? No, because we're not idiots. We don't do stuff like that. But I guess we're gonna do stuff like that here. I don't know. I could go on forever. Bottom line is they don't deserve to be here. They're taking up 2 spots that I would say easily 5+ games deserve to be in those 2 spots. And they can, I didn't even mention, Donkey Kong. There's a great one. Donkey Kong Bonanza. There's so many great games that deserve to be there. So you're cutting out maybe between, 4 to 7 games that deserve it. And then you are dangerously close to 50%. You literally have a coin flip of which one of these things is going to win. And yes, I get Genshin Impact only has 20%, etc. But combined, they almost have half a shot, versus the other 3. So I just find that to be insane. And I'm going to laugh. Well, I'm not going to laugh. Actually, I think I'm just going to be very mad. If Genshin Impact or Wuthering Waves wins and not Expedition, or I would take any. I don't care. Dispatch winning, I think, is a great, almost come-from-behind story because it kind of came out late, right? Hollow Knight, you see coming. Expedition, once everybody played it, you know that that's going to be a Game of the Year contender the entire year, right? Like, a lot of those you could actually see coming. Dispatch kind of comes in late, so catches people off guard, but people are into it. Awesome. Any of those 3 games, great story. Great story. I think some deserve it more. Okay, like I have my own Game of the Year that we'll talk about towards the end of this month, but I have my own personal, but any of those 3 I'd be more than fine saying it. Just like last year, I would have taken Final Fantasy. Astrobot won it in terms of, the critics. Totally cool. Astrobot deserves it. Other games deserved it as well. Whatever. Actually, Astrobot was not my Game of the Year, even though I was clapping. I feel like I was so excited. You could watch my live stream last year. I was so happy Astrobot won it, even though it's not even my Game of the Year. But if those 2 games win it, I can't pretend to be happy. In fact, I will not pretend. I will just be mad. I'll just be furious at it. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.